It's BBC Radio Manchester. It's Michelle Dignan at breakfast here. Now, you will know actor Bonnie Wright as Ginny Weasley, the only Weasley sister and Harry Potter's love interest in the Harry Potter films. And you may also know she's very passionate about the environment and is a Greenpeace ambassador. Now, her debut book, Go Gently, Actionable Steps to Nurture Yourself and the Planet, has recently come out. And yeah, she's here now. Bonnie's here. Good morning.
Good morning. Hello. It's lovely to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. I mean, listen, I think it's always like a constant shock to everyone when they realise the kids of the Harry Potter films are in the 30s.
Yeah,
do you get that? Do you get that a lot?
I did when we did the reunion recently. I was like, wow, we're old enough to have a reunion. Yeah. That's quite an eye-opening moment.
Yeah, that's it. I think a lot of people will relate to that when they finally get like the Facebook invite to the school reunion. You're like, oh, it's that long ago since I left school now. Is it reunion time? But listen, tell us about your book, and can you just sort of generally tell us the core message of it?
Yeah, sure. The core message of my book, Go Gently, is essentially how can we sort of like get involved in a very overwhelming topic like the climate crisis at a scale we can actually comprehend. You know, we can see these big statistics and headlines and not really understand how they relate to our own life. So my book is about helping us to understand how these big topics relate to our own life and how we can actually implement changes in our day-to-day life, predominantly our home life, to just be a bit more involved and a bit more kind of part of the change we want to see and actually feel a bit more hopeful towards the solutions around the climate crisis.
I mean, I'm so glad you said that because, I mean, I feel like this is exactly what we need, and I'm glad you used the word overwhelming because, you know, lots of our listeners have used that word when we've talked about the environment and climate change, which we have done a lot, and they've said, you know, how does my little life here in Greater Manchester affect the planet? What really am I going to do that can change things for the better? But I guess you're going to say you can.
You can, and, you know, often we can worry that we're just like small pieces to this big, you know, kind of machine, or that we're just data, but we can also be in powerful, very powerful data in the same way that we can vote. We can also vote with the choices we make, you know, whether that's the way we spend our money, the way we run our house, the way we kind of more kind of look after the things we do own so they have a longer life out of them. You know, I think we've been kind of left to live in this model where we think we need kind of new things when something's broken, or we kind of buy more food than we need and not thinking actually maybe just to plan a little bit ahead and buy less food so less waste happens, or look a bit closely on, you know, the labels of packaging when you do go to the supermarket or wherever you kind of buy your things. I think we just be a bit more intentional.
So if I was to say to you, given everything you just said then, to sort of pick your three like really easy changes you can do, I'm guessing some of those may be in that top three that you've just mentioned.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I always stress to people that my top three might not be someone else's, because I think what we all are interested in and have access to do, or our lifestyles, are all really different. So for me, because I deeply care about ocean health and single-use plastic pollution, I've really tried to mitigate the amount of single-use plastics in my house. And I really first started just doing that in the kitchen because I love cooking in the kitchen. So I was like, I'll start somewhere I actually enjoy, and hopefully this will be more sustained. And then other things I'm really interested in also is like food waste and diverting my, you know, organic waste, like, you know, an apple core, a banana skin, onion peel, from going in my general rubbish to actually composting that and making like fertilizer to grow more plants. So everyone's going to have different interests. Someone may love beauty, they love sewing, they want to make their own clothes. Maybe they love technology and they're interested in how to kind of shift their habits around how they use technology.
Where did this come from, your passion for this?
Yeah, I think a growing concern, like everyone, you know, just like, how is this happening and what can I do about it? I've always loved the seaside and the beach, so seeing already, you know, plastic pollution end up there in my lifetime, increasingly, I was like, how's this happening and what can I do about it? Which then led me to work with Greenpeace. And then it was really trips with them and being kind of inspired by their campaigners that really took this from something I was concerned about to something I actively wanted to do something about in my day-to-day life, just because of their dedication to this issue. And yeah, the book really came about because I was doing these things at home and not really sharing them. They were just for myself, kind of trying to feel a bit more tangibly involved. And I realized that's where a book was, maybe more so than the direct actions, the public kind of larger scale actions I was doing with Greenpeace. Like, I realized this is more approachable and obtainable, and hopefully more interesting. And I also tried to stress in the book that, like, you know, there is no perfect way to show up to this issue, and I think that often distracts us or makes us feel like we're not worthy of trying. So I think there's no wrong way to show up, and the climate movement needs everyone, and needs every type of person too, because every personality and skill set is helpful.
I think, many people listening will agree with what you've just said, that sometimes you can feel like a failure. Yeah. You sort of start, you think, oh no, but I've used that little bit of plastic. But actually, I guess a bit like a diet. Yeah. If you then just think, that was a bad moment, I'll carry on, all is not lost, is
and
it?
our day, one day we do great and another day you don't, but that's fine. You did, it's like being, obviously, as my title suggests of the book, being gentle on yourself as you do it.
And keep trying. You've just mentioned Greenpeace there. We know they're kicking off their big plastic count scheme the middle of this month.
Yes.
What's your advice in particular then to homes, sort of from that point of view, that want to get involved in that? And also, you said that tracking your plastic at home was one of the first things you did. If anybody that wants to get involved with that.
Yeah, sure. So the big plastic count happening across the UK is essentially a week in which you count the amount of plastic waste you create. So everything from, toothpaste tube to, lettuce wrapped, up, or whatever that may be. And you basically, it's a very eye-opening experience just to see where your plastic shows up most. You'll probably find one category be more than others. And then also you basically submit that data to Greenpeace, and they use that to strengthen their argument to governments, supermarkets and big brands to basically say, this is how much is happening, and we need to give us as consumers better choices so we're not forced to feel bad about it.
Yeah, which is what we need, really, isn't it? Also, I heard that there's some in your book tips on like beauty products you can make at home.
Yeah.
What kind of thing would you like stick on your face? Just as a really quick example, can you think?
I guess what I do, like an exfoliator scrub that's made with like used coffee grounds and like oil, so coconut oil, olive oil, anything like that. Okay. So using something that you maybe throw away and like getting a second life out of it. Or there's this kind of all over balm I use on my hands and lips and different things. I think we're taught to think that we need to buy everything, but we can make a lot ourselves at home.
Yeah, listen, really appreciate you talking to me this morning. It's the fantastic Bonnie Wright, very passionate about the environment. She's a Greenpeace ambassador, and her book Go Gently, Actionable Steps to Nurture Yourself and the Planet is out now. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's BBC Radio Manchester.